Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video we are looking into Paula's Choice Omega Plus Complex Skincare line, which is suitable for all skin types. Now this line contains a cleansing balm, a serum, an eye cream, as well as a moisturizer, which can be used all together in the same routine in the morning and or evening daily, or you just can use the individual products that sound interesting for you and then include it in your current existing skincare routine. Now I'm going to show you how you can set up a skincare routine and how you can adjust it accordingly to your skin type and needs. And then I'm going to show you the entire application of the individual products, as well as how you can use them all together, so that you can see if you want to use them all together, how you're going to use them and how you're going to apply them one after another. And at the same time, you will see the individual application of a specific product. So if you just say, well, I'm just interested in the serum, then I'm showing you the entire application of the serum so that you can see it and then follow on with the rest of your skincare routine, which you may have at home. So this would be just an example so that you get like all the information that you need when looking into this skincare line. Now, the Omega Complex line really focuses on replenishing and restoring the skin barrier, and at the same time helps to hydrate the skin, plumps the skin. It has some antioxidants in it, which helps to create a healthier skin appearance as well as fight free radicals. And lastly, it helps to lock in moisture. So if you have dehydrated skin, you're suffering from dullness, and you may have a few fine lines here and there, it can help you to improve your overall skin appearance to a healthier, softer and hydrated skin. And so when using the products, as I already mentioned, they can be used in the morning and or evening. But this line does not contain an hydrating and soothing toner nor an exfoliant. But this does not mean that you cannot use them in your skincare routine. It's fine to use them along the Omega Plus Complex Skincare line. And I'm going to show you the order of application, as well as give you some examples of hydrating and soothing toners and exfoliating acids if you want to include them. Of course, if you have other products at home from your toner or your exfoliant, you can exchange it, but the entire step-by-step routine won't change. The order of application will stay the same, even though you may use other products along with it. Now, when it comes to a morning skincare routine, you can keep it very simple by first of all starting off with washing your face using Paula's Choice Cleansing Balm. Then rinse it off, pat the skin dry. Then if you want to include a hydrating and soothing toner, you can go ahead and do so. I have two examples right here. One's great for dry skin, the other one is great for oily combination skin, so that you have an example. If you have a different one at home, exchange it. Apply your toner to the skin, leave it on the skin. Then move on to your serum, apply it to the skin, leave it on the skin. Then follow with the eye cream. And then lastly, either use the Omega Complex Moisturizer at first and then follow with a regular sunscreen afterwards if you're being exposed to the sun, or use instead a moisturizer that already contains SPF. However, like this step can be exchanged depending on your sunscreen and your moisturizer with sunscreen that you're currently using, but you can use the Omega Plus Complex Moisturizer during daytime as well, but it does not contain SPF, so you would need to use an additional product afterwards. So this would be one example of a morning skincare routine which can be done daily. Then when it comes to an evening skincare routine and you say, well, I have an exfoliant at home as well, I do want to include it, then that's fine too, you can go ahead and do so. So the first step would be using Paula's Choice Cleansing Balm. This cleansing balm is great to remove sunscreen and or makeup as well, so it's a great evening cleanser. Then rinse it off, pat the skin dry. Move on to your hydrating and soothing toner if you want to include it, and then move on to your exfoliant. Now when it comes to the exfoliant, I have two examples right here. One's great for a bit more of a drier skin type, which would be an AHA exfoliant, whereas the other one is a BHA, and that's a bit more suitable if you have an oilier skin type. Again, those are just two examples. If you have a different one, exchange it. And then follow with the serum, eye cream and moisturizer as your last step. So, and those are some examples of a morning as well as evening skincare routine which you can do when using Paula's Choice Omega Plus Complex Skincare products. Now, if you find them helpful, you can download them in the description box down below and use it as a guide. Now I want to keep my focus on the entire application, and so we are going to get started with the first step, which is washing your face using Paula's Choice Omega Complex Cleansing Balm. That one is great for all skin types. It is a very gentle cleanser, does not dry out your skin nor irritates the skin, and it is able to remove dirt, sweat, as well as oil from the skin, yet at the same time makeup and sunscreen. So it's a great daily cleanser, as well as it's great to just use it as your cleansing balm in your evening skincare routine when removing stubborn sunscreen sunscreen and or makeup. So when using it, there are two ways on how you can use it. Either apply the cleansing balm on dry skin, massage it onto the skin and then rinse it off with water, or apply the cleansing balm on wet skin and then massage it onto the skin and then rinse it off with water. Both ways are fine. So in this case, I recommend trying out both ways so that you can see which way you prefer and then go ahead and do it. But for me personally, I like to use it on dry skin, especially in the evening when I'm trying to remove my sunscreen and or makeup from the skin. I just feel that it works much better in my opinion. However, if you think the other way around and you like to use it on wet skin, that's completely fine as well. Just make sure that you're reaching every area to properly wash your face. And this cleanser at the same time hydrates and softens the skin while using it. So the first step that I'm going to do is now using a fair amount of the cleansing balm in the palm of my hand, and I'm going to massage it onto dry skin. So about that much, more or less. Then rub your hands together and then gently massage it onto your skin. You can use it around the eyes as well. Just make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. If that's the case, rinse it immediately with water. So, and once you have massaged it all over your face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute, if you're trying to remove sunscreen and or makeup, take your time. You can massage it onto the skin for a bit longer to make sure that you are getting every area so that you then can properly rinse it off with water. Now, when it comes to the rinsing off part, use lukewarm water to warm water if you can, because I believe that it works much better as if you would use cold water. So it really helps to remove the balm cleanser from the skin a bit better. Now, you can do this by just using your hands and splashing some water onto your face and trying to remove it. However, in this case, you may find it helpful to use a fresh and soft washcloth in between as well, especially when removing sunscreen and or makeup. And then you're going to wet your washcloth and then swipe across your face to make sure that everything comes properly off the skin. So, and now go ahead and take a fresh towel and pat the skin dry. So once you have pat the skin dry, you can immediately move on to the next step. Now this can already be using Paula's Choice Omega Plus Complex Serum and apply it to the skin. However, if you do want to include an hydrating and soothing toner and or exfoliant in your skincare routine, then you're going to use it at first before using the serum. And so when it comes to an overall guidance with your hydrating and soothing toner and or exfoliant, I just want to share it with you, but I'm going to keep my focus on the application of the Omega line. So when using an hydrating and soothing toner, make sure that it's working well for your skin type and needs. This is just one example. If you have a toner that has a very light texture, the same would apply when it comes to an exfoliant. If you have an exfoliant that has an opening like this, it has a very light texture, and you want to use it in the palm of your hand and then apply it to the skin, then use between overall 5 to 8 drops. This is a great guide, which of course can be adjusted, but start off by using between 5 to 8 drops, see how it goes, and then if you should feel the need to adjust it, you can always do so. However, if you have a toner and exfoliant that has a thicker serum-like texture, then use between 3 to 4 drops for your face and neck. So you need to reduce the amount due to the texture as it spreads out way better and you have more time to blend it all over. And so you can use it either in the palm of your hand and then apply it to the skin, or use it on a cotton pad. And when using a cotton pad, this applies to, again, your hydrating and soothing toner and or exfoliant as well. If it has a thinner texture and you need to pour it out, then you use about a coin size amount. You do not need to soak up the entire cotton pad for your face and neck. First of all, you're going to waste a lot of product, and second of all, you're going to use way too much product which cannot fully absorb into the skin. And this becomes especially important when using with an exfoliant that you would use the same way as a toner. You want to make sure that you're using enough so that you can blend it all over, about that much. You can see I haven't soaked up the entire cotton pad. It's more like a coin size amount in the center of the cotton pad, and that should be enough for your face and neck. And when using an hydrating and soothing toner, it isn't as critical if you should end up with a bit too much product, but at the same time your skin should feel slightly damp, not completely wet. But if you're using too much with an exfoliant that has a similar texture and you're using too much of it, this can likely end up with sensitivity, like overall irritation, because your skin cannot tolerate that much of an exfoliant. And so this is where the amount does play a big role. So once you have applied your hydrating and soothing toner with your hands or with a cotton pad, then you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. If you're working with a leave-on exfoliant, please make sure, and if you're going to apply it the way similar to the toner, then please make sure to read on the back of the packaging if you can use it on the eye contour or if you should avoid it, because this can change depending on the exfoliant that you may be using. However, if you have a toner and or exfoliant or maybe essence that comes with a pump like this exfoliant right here, then use between 1 to 2 pumps for your face and neck. Again, start off by using at first 1 pump, see how far you can blend it, and if it shouldn't be enough you can always add another pump. But I wouldn't use more than that, because you should be able to blend it evenly and thinly all over. It shouldn't sit on top of the skin surface. It should be able to absorb into the skin. So this is what you have to remember when working with skincare products, that you're going to layer one after another. And so once you have applied your leave-on exfoliant, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now in between each product you can wait between 30 seconds to a minute, and when it comes to moisturizer and sunscreen, between 1 to 2 minutes. But I do want to make sure that you understand that when using enough, but at the same time not too much, you do not necessarily need to wait in between. Once you have applied it, it has already absorbed while you're blending it, then you can immediately move on to the next step, and that's fine. So you do not need a lot of product. So once you have applied your hydrating and soothing toner and your exfoliant, you're going to leave it on the skin, no need to wash it off. Then you would move on to Paula's Choice Omega Plus Complex Serum, and when applying it, use between 1 to 2 pumps for your face and neck. You may need to use an additional pump if you want to blend it further down, because then 1 to 2 pumps may not be enough, which also depends on how dry your skin may be. So if you have normal to an oilier skin type, you may want to use less. However, if you have a drier skin type, you may want to use more. But again, make sure that you're not using too much. It should be able to absorb into the skin, but at the same time you should be able to blend it all over where you want to cover the area. And so I'm going to use about 2 pumps, which is about that much, and then apply it evenly all over your face and neck. You can use this serum on the eye contour as well, which can be extremely helpful. If you, for example, do not want to use the eye cream, then you can use the serum. It's very lightweight and at the same time hydrates the skin. So, and once you have applied the serum all over your face and neck, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And now you can move on to the next step, which is Paula's Choice Omega Plus Complex Eye Cream. And so this is a cream, it is not a serum. So I recommend using 1 pump for both eyes. This should be more than enough because it's a very rich and hydrating eye cream. If you have really dry skin, you can use a bit more, but 2 pumps easily overdo it and it may feel like a bit too much on the eye area. So therefore I recommend just sticking to 1 pump. And when using it around the eyes, you can use it around the eye contour. You can bring it up towards the brow bone to hydrate that area as well, and also the eye corner. So just use it gently around the eye. I do not recommend using it on top of the eyelids because it can easily get into your eyes, because it is a richer cream which moves around, especially due to the movement that your eyelid does, and then it can easily get into your eyes, which is very unpleasant and sometimes can really lead to irritation. So therefore I do not recommend using it on top of your actual eyelid that moves around. And so then go ahead and use about 1 pump, which is about that much. Use it between your fingers or maybe just 1 finger, and then you can decide, do you want to pat it around the eyes, do you want to gently blend it around the eyes? Whatever application method works the best for you, go ahead and do so. There isn't really right or wrong, just make sure to not get it into your eyes. So, and once you have applied the eye cream, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And so now the last step could be your moisturizer in your evening skincare routine and or during daytime when not being exposed to the sun. So this can be the last step, which helps to lock in moisture, especially if you have dehydrated skin. And so when using the moisturizer, use between 1 to 2 pumps. You may want to use like 1 or 2 pumps more if you have a drier skin type. But again, start off with 1 to 2 pumps, see how you are able to blend it all over, and if you still should feel the need, you can adjust the amount. But again, please do not overdo it. It's really important that you just can gently and thinly apply it all over your face and neck, and maybe your décolletage as well if you want to include it. So this would be about 2 pumps. Use it between your fingers and then evenly and gently blend it all over. Now once you have applied your moisturizer, then you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And this is the last step in your evening skincare routine. However, during daytime, don't forget to follow with an SPF or switch it to a moisturizer that already contains SPF to protect the skin when being in the sun. And so if you want to know how you can properly apply a moisturizer that already contains SPF or regular sunscreen, I have a specific video for you in the top right corner, which you can check out because I'm going to show you the application in this video as well. Now this is what I wanted to share with you on how you can use Paula's Choice Omega Plus Complex Skincare line when it comes to their cleansing balm, their serum, their eye cream, as well as moisturizer. And I do hope that you find it helpful, that you enjoyed it. If you did so, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to know more about skincare and how you can set up your skincare routine and see the various applications, I have several videos for you on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to link some of them at the end of this video so that you can keep on watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye!